We have been on quite a journey. At the very first, I said that this series of chats, fireside chats, would be on how to get your head on straight and how to make your values great. And so we've gone through emotions and saying that it's very important for you to get your head on straight to learn your emotions, because there is an emotional trigger before thoughts. And then we went on to explain modules or parts of mind, certainly the logical brain, but also the unconscious brain, in which people will suddenly exhibit a part of them that seems weird or different from their normal self. And then we've gone to presuppositions and other parts of liberation psychotherapy in order to get the head on straight. Excuse me. And now we're turning to the values great. Now, I've said before that people have a homeostasis, and so it takes time to balance the personality and get the head on straight. Now, there's one area that is avoided in psychotherapy, because to do it is to unleash tremendous anger on the part of people. And they go into the flight syndrome. So let's say, and this area that really protects this is a belief system. But we're not talking about belief systems. We're talking about something deeper, and that is the values in these last two chats. But imagine that I had mentioned a belief system of a Mormon, and I said, let's go back to Joseph Smith and his encounters with Moroni and the golden tablets. Immediately, the person would just go, wow, it's like, you're attacking my music, you're attacking my belief system. Don't you dare mention that, Frank. And even if I'd spent 2, 3, 4 years with that person, that would be the reaction that they would have. Or let's say a modern example is somebody is a watcher of the Fox channel on cable television. And I say, okay, let's consider the belief structure of the Fox channel. The person would just go ape on me. They would say, you're interfering with my music. You are influenced by regular media. And I know the truth because the Fox channel is fair and equal, balanced, I guess is the way they say it. So we avoid belief structures in psychotherapy. They're hot, and a person will go nuts on you if you mention. Let's say an evangelical Christian, and you chance to say, let's consider the influence of Plato and Platonism in terms of the New Testament on St. Paul, or say the Gospel of John, which is a Gnostic gospel. Person will say, oh my gosh, you are really attacking my faith. I'm going to get hell out of here because they wouldn't say hell, but they'd say, I'm getting out of here because well, that's not psychotherapy. So I want to make very clear that when we discuss values, I'm not talking about a belief structure. I'm not talking about trying to change anyone's mind in terms of their basic beliefs. I'm talking about values, and I'm talking about value people who could be a member of a Mormon church, could go watch the Fox channel, could be an evangelical Christian or an Orthodox Jew or a Muslim of a very conservative faith. I'm talking about a value of human beings, and that's what we'll deal with in these final two sets of chats. Now this first set of chats is, strangely enough, I'm going to be talking about tragedy. In every one of these chats, in 7:1 and 7 through 6, I'll be talking about tragedy, because I know that this is something that is very deep to human beings, and it can lead us to what I promised originally. I'll tell you how to make your values great. A story. 1978 or so, my wife and I are driving back from Chicago, driving about 70 miles an hour. And in front of us, there's a small little Datsun truck, a Japanese-made truck. It's a small one, and it's about 40 yards in front of us. And all of a sudden, it veers, hits a concrete abutment, and falls on its side and slides. Without thinking, I put the brakes on the car, pull over to the side, open my door, say, "Stay in the car," to my wife in a very authoritarian fashion, and I ran to that car. And I was the first one there, and the window was open about that much on the driver's side, but the car was tilted on the passenger side, and I could see down into the foot compartment on the passenger side. There was a man, scrubby, looked dirty, unkempt, and I said, "Are you okay?" through my little piece of window. And he said, he nodded, "Yeah." And I said, "Anything broken?" And he said, "I don't think so." And so about that time, on the other side of the expressway, some people started coming. One of them was a man that couldn't have been more than 4 feet tall, and he was carrying a 3-foot fire extinguisher and running as fast as he could. There was also a military guy and a couple. Other cars were passing. But these people had seen the accident, and they were hurrying. The military guy came up, took charge, and said to me, "Turn off the motor." I tried, but I couldn't get my arm through the window. And suddenly, a female arm, a woman's arm, an arm that I recognized, reached way in and turned the key and turned off the motor. The short man was spraying the gasoline real rapidly, and it didn't seem to me but 2 minutes that state police pulled up, and they took charge. And remember, I'm talking about how to make your values great. So when the police came, the state troopers, they took charge, and I just went to the car, my wife and I, the woman who had stuck her arm in there and who had disobeyed me. I never was able to command my wife, and I don't think I will in the future. But anyway, we got in the car, and we continue on driving. I said, "That was stupid on our parts. Why did we do that? We didn't even think about it. We didn't process and say, somebody's hurt." We immediately moved, and we immediately jumped out of this car, and we could have been killed. And that man didn't even care about his own life. He was laying on the floor, and I saw a bottle of wine. It was Ripple wine, the cheapest wine you can buy in Chicago or Indiana, or and there he was drinking out of that bottle, even when he was hurt or laying on the floor. He had to be bruised. By the way, this was before seat belts. He's sipping out of the wine. We were crazy, honey. This was not wise. Why did we do that? Why did those other people run to help him? Why didn't we just wait until the state police got there? Those are deep questions. And those questions lead to what I will be talking about. Here was a tragedy, and we immediately jumped to help. A half hour ago, my wife and I received a phone call that one of our neighbors may have died. A neighbor who is very nice, and all of our neighbors are very nice actually, and they may be Mormon or go watch Fox Channel or evangelical Christians, but as soon as that call came, my wife and I wanted to jump to help. This is not thinking. This is not processing. A plus B equals da da da, or 1 plus 1 equals 2. We weren't in our logical brains, but we were tapping in to a value. And I will proceed to talk about this even more in future chats.